All right, I'm doing a brief introduction of the course for digital forensics. I'm going to share this with you before the course starts, and so you will not have seen a biography of me yet. And then once you get access to the Canvas module, you'll be able to learn a bit more about me. So I'm going to hold off on any introductions on this video. This will purely be to introduce the course. And but just a quick note about me is I'm not a full-time instructor. I am a full-time information security professional, and I teach at Arizona State as well as a couple other colleges in the evenings or on the side when I can. And also, this course was previously taught by an instructor, Jihon, who is not able to teach it this summer. So I am helping him out with it. I will be using his videos during the course. So just to avoid any confusion, I'll be facilitating the course this summer, but you'll see videos from him. So when you get access to the Canvas module, be sure to walk through the introduction area here where I give you a little, there's a tour of Canvas, which all of you should probably already be very familiar with. And then there's an introduction of me here, and I will post a link to this video as well. But I'm going to share this with you in email ahead of the course starting via YouTube so that you can get a head start before you even have access to the Canvas module and you know what we're doing. So to let you know the way the course is going to work, basically we are separating it into modules, always go to home or modules, and we have our Get Started module, which will be open to you right off the bat. Now, this is an interesting summer because we're starting off July 1st, which means for a lot of people, there might be a lot of celebration of the July 4th holiday during that first week. So what I did was I initially was going to have you do two modules the first week, which I thought was probably cruel and unusual punishment. So I am changing that, and I'm going to have you do one module the first week that's due July 8th, and then two modules the second week, which means if you do want to, I will open them both up on at the beginning of the course on July 1st, if not sooner. So you will have access to all this to do if you like. If you're not interested in the holiday and you want to work over it, that's fine. You can get yourself nice and caught up, or nice and ahead of the game, I should say, not caught up. So my plan is to open module one and two both on July 1st, if not earlier. This is due July 8th. The assignments for module one, the assignments for module two and three are both due the 15th. And then we'll do module four due July 22nd, module five due July 29th, and then module six due the August 5th, and then the end of the course is August 11th. So we have a very quick summer course here. So we will have both one assignment for module seven as well as the final exam, both due that last module. So this one will be a pretty busy week, even though there's only one assignment. And then, of course, the second and third modules are done the week of July 9th through the 15th will be a busy week, but I will open it ahead of time, as I said. So basically, the way the modules work is there is an overview section that just kind of gives some information. There is no text for the book, so if there is no text for the class. So if you see anywhere a reference to a text, there is a text that has been used in the past that the course is built around, and you're more than welcome to buy it if you like. The information will be provided to you here, but you do not need it. We are covering all the material you need to know in the course, in the videos and other resources that will be shared with you. So just to let you know, the text purchase is completely optional. So there's an overview that just kind of tells you a little bit about the course, and then there's the learning materials, and this is where Jihan's videos will be shared. Now, I will warn you that one thing I like to do is break up the videos into like 10-minute segments and share like 6 or 7 or 8 videos with you every week. In this case, he has the whole video here, which is in this case is it looks like 28 minutes, 26 minutes long. So that may make it a little difficult to remember where you were if you're stopping and starting. So just be aware of that. Make sure you're keeping track of timestamps and things because he does have some longer videos that he's sharing with you. Some of the other ones are even, I think, like 45 minutes long. And he will also likely do some introduction of the course and himself. Obviously, I'd like you to know who he is. So please watch any introduction he shares of himself. Anything he shares about the course, obviously, will be, as far as scheduling, will be superseded by anything I share with you because we are under our schedule. And in the modules, the schedule that we have laid out is the actual schedule and the order that we'll be doing things. And then there might be some additional resources like some PDFs to download. So basically that's it for the format. You will have the overview, learning materials as far as what's being provided to you. Now, as far as the assignments, there are discussion assignments and there are writing assignments and there are some labs. So, and I think some quizzes. He does have some quizzes as well. So there are different variations for the types of assignments. They're pretty self-explanatory. As far as the labs are concerned, these are not virtual labs. So if you have any difficulty doing any of these with the machines that you have provided to you, it's up to you to get yourself something that is going to be able to do this. Now, these assignments are pretty simple. The any kind of software you're installing is it's not going to be very memory intensive or processor requirement or have a higher processor requirement. It's all pretty simple, but you will need to make arrangements to, if, for example, some of these assignments don't work well on a Mac, and I don't think that'll be a problem. I know we've had that issue in the past, but in some classes I've taught. But for these, I don't think that'll be a problem, but you will need to figure out your way around those. If that means borrowing a computer, using lab computers at the school campus, I'm not even sure what availability is over the summer. That's going to be up to you. So what I will do for you. So what I won't do, I won't be able to help you. I won't be able to troubleshoot with you. There's too many people in the class for me to provide any kind of assistance. I will advise you to work with other students if possible. If you even need to team up on an assignment, because one student has a machine that will be able to handle these and someone else is maybe challenged, you guys can work together on that. I have no problem with that. Just let me know that that's what you're doing. But don't contact me, to ask me for help because I can provide the assistance. What I will do is give you leniency on the due dates if you are challenged with something. Now, with that said, please don't wait till the last minute and work on the assignment the last day that it's due and then hope that everything just falls into place nicely. Please stay ahead of the schedule. Let me know if you're challenged and if it's going to take you more than a week to get it resolved, that's fine. I will give you some leniency on the due dates. It's a summer class. We are very limited on our time. You can't let things back up too much because you will be struggling to make up the time. So quizzes and writing assignments are pretty self-explanatory as far as what's required of you. I do have rubrics provided for you. As far as the requirements for the papers, right now they are sit in there as a cite properly. We use whatever citing source makes sense, even if you just put a resource, the name of the resource, a link to the resource. I don't require that you use any kind of specific citing term paper citing mechanism. And then a minimum of 500 words in length. I'm more interested in just kind of reasonable formatting, double space, 12 point. I'm not sure exactly what 500 pages is, but 2 to 3 pages I think would be reasonable for these, and that's not a lot when you're double spacing. So I think that would be pretty reasonable. I'm not too concerned about you submitting something too long. So if you start going long, don't worry about it. I guess when it comes to something being submitted too short, don't just send, these are papers. These aren't just, write a paragraph about. So you follow typical intro, body, conclusion, formatting. Make it pretty professional, but don't get carried away with, any kind of formatting requirements. I'm not going to hold you to that. Also, don't use AI to write the paper. I will be asking, or I will be running the papers through a system that suspects whether or not they were written using AI. It's not 100% foolproof, so I'm not going to go by that alone, but please write the paper. Don't be too conversational and too informal with it, but but make it in such a way that it is your words. It's the main thing I want to make sure is that you are gathering an understanding of what the papers are about. And then the quizzes, of course, are quizzes. There's not a whole lot more to discuss with regard to those. As far as time limits, if there are people who require additional time for disabilities or something, just let me know and we will work through that. So let's talk about the syllabus a little bit. So basically everything I've just mentioned is here. I'm not a PhD. I'm not a full-time professor. Just call me Bob. I'm a faculty associate. If you need to talk to me, let's set up a Zoom. I'm happy to do that. The textbook is optional, as I mentioned, but I provide the text that was used to develop the course here in case you are very interested in this and want to maybe retain that in your professional career, which is not unheard of. A lot of people want to get into this kind of thing. It's an interesting. This is one of the things, by the way, we talk about what sort of professions are AI or AI proof, I guess, or are pretty safe. Computer forensics is something that when you talk about the hardware component of things, when you talk about chain of custody, the legal aspects, the implications, the risk reward, when it comes to something like AI, not being perfect, this is one of those fields that is probably not going to get taken over by AI anytime soon, in some respects. So, grading, I'm going to give it to you on I did this again. I noticed. I have to change this. I apologize. This shows just ignore this points range column because this goes up to 1,300 points, but we have 1,000 points. So basically, it is a plus minus scale. Your grade will be the number of points that you have, moving the decimal point one spot to make it so that because we're out of 1,000 points. So if you have 970, obviously you have a 97%, which means you have an A plus. So I will be doing the plus minus point scale. This is ignore this column. I'll go in and fix that when I have a moment. And then as far as submitting assignments, the due dates are pretty well established. I'm, by the way, in Wisconsin, so I'm in Central Time. So just understand that if you're communicating with me, if you send me something real late, I might not get it till morning because I forget I'm either 1 or 2 hours ahead of you now with daylight savings in place. Let's see what else. Late assignments, like I said, I'll be reasonable, especially given some of the challenges you might have. Just let me know ahead of time as soon as you're having an issue. Always communicate with me through the inbox in Canvas. It says here, it might say here to use ASU email. But I do want you to use the inbox in Canvas. You can send it to me through ASU email. I will get it, but I'm asking you to please use. I much more closely monitor the course inbox than my ASU email. So please use ASU or please use the Canvas email. And let's see. I also noticed that there's a couple assignments in here that still have incorrect due dates. I need to talk to Canvas about fixing that. They're not going to affect you though, because I did look in the assignments section and I believe everything is in a module. So we are good to go with all of our assignments. So yeah, that's it. If you have any questions, please reach out to me. I'm going to share this with you ahead of time. This is the one time if you're getting this before the Canvas module is opened, if you happen to be watching this on YouTube before the Canvas module is opened, I will be obviously accepting emails through my ASU email address, which is ramich@asu.edu. So yeah, if you have any questions or anything, please feel free to reach out. Otherwise, I look forward to working with you in this very quick course, and we will talk with you all very soon.